question for Decam.
Decamerion, you kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit last year. Got a chance to start and get your feet wet. How big was that experience heading into year two?
I feel like that experience helped me out a lot because being tossed in that fire helped me see the receivers, like the different receivers in the conference and just everybody. So coming into this year, I feel like it helped me know the different receivers and how to play them and different tendencies that they like to do.
You do a lot of film study of yourself and sitting with the coaches to kind of figure out the good points and the things that you needed to work on.
Yes, we did. Going over just my press technique and all that. Yeah.
What is the difference maybe between your confidence level right now and where it was last year?
I feel like it's way higher. Coming in, like I said, got through in that fire, still played confident, but coming in this year, I feel like I'm that guy. So, yeah.
What is it like for you to play for a head coach who's so known for defensive backs, has worked with so many great defensive backs in his career, and now he's kind of bringing that knowledge to you?
I feel like it's really good because like he's coaching like Richard Sherman, tall guys like that. Pete's a good coach for a defensive back, so he the pure step. I'm a long guy, so I like to use that technique. I feel like that helped me out, knowing like that he know the technique and he can tell me and coach me up on it. It helps out a lot.
How good is it to have your cousin here with you?
It's good. It's real good. Being from the same place, then being on the same team, it means a lot. Even for the folks back home, they see family members play on the same team. Like that's big even for the city.
He said that he's tough on you, but you want that obviously.
Yeah.
How does that work out, that relationship? And are you guys getting closer now that you're on the same team?
Yeah, I believe so. Like I say, that's good. Like I need somebody on me like that can, come and talk to me, and vice versa. I can talk to him, and it wouldn't be like no hard feelings or nothing, because we can just communicate with each other like that.
He spoke to us. He also talked about some of the lower times for him, right, coming off the injury and some hard times he went through, and how it also helped to have family here. How's it feel to sort of have somebody older need you at times to lean on? Does he come to you?
Yeah, it's always good when you have that family that you can come and rely on, even if it's football, not football. You come talk to somebody. I feel like that's always good to have.
He said he tried to get you to LSU. How come? What happened with that?
I don't know. They ain't offer me, so I don't know.
How beneficial was it though having a guy a couple years older than you in your family who was having success to kind of set the tone for you and that you can kind of follow when you were growing up?
It was big because like seeing him, especially being from the same city, that's my cousin. Seeing him go to the league, that made me put in my mind that I can do the same thing. And when I see him go, you feel I worked hard and I'm here where I'm at today, so it means a lot.
You said a big difference for you this year is your confidence level went up, but from a technique standpoint, where do you feel like you improved the most from your rookie year?
Route recognition, knowing the receivers, I know their tendencies and what they like to do. Then overall, just my techniques and myself, like I say, the pure step, like Coach Pete, coach. I feel like that, like things like that, help me out a lot.
Decamerion, what have your impressions of Darnay Porter been? He's similar build to you, same spot you were in last year as a rookie.
Yeah, I really like Darnay. He's a really good player. Coming in like he's a same build, but he's real fast. He's real fast, and he just picking up the game and continuing to grow, and he's gonna be real special.
Okay, guys. Awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
man.
All right.
Darnay, I know you've been in this system before with PG, but being back with the Raiders, what's sort of been the focus for you coming into your second year with the franchise?
I'll say just being a contributor on and off the field, being that vet in that room, that vet presence, showing the guys before me, after me how to have a disciplined routine, and no matter what the day brings, just staying disciplined in who you are and what you bring to the table for sure.
And you see you moving outside, playing nickelback. Where do you kind of feel like you're best suited in terms of your skill set?
I feel like I could bring value all over, from special teams to nickel to outside corner, so wherever that day brings, I'm ready for the opportunity. At the end of the day, I'm not a guy who's going to just box myself in this NFL league. You can't box yourself in because right when you box yourself in, they'll let lean on that label, you know. So I'm just a guy who's ready just to take on all roles and being that provider on this team for sure.
How tough was it for your room to see Lonnie go down the other day?
It's always tough to see one of your fellow teammates go down. You know, at the end of the day, we know that it's something that's going to make him stronger. You know, at the end of the day, we're going to go out there and showcase what type of defense we was with him. And at the end of the day, he's always on our minds, and each and every day, we make sure we reach out to him.
In what ways have you seen this defense change a bit now that Pete's come to town and he and PG kind of seem like they're kind of melding things together?
Yeah, I would just say just the core principles we lean upon. You know, at the end of the day, we all about effort. We all about the ball. And if you can lean upon those two things, you know, at the end of the day, you should have more wins than losses.
Just looking around, how good do you think this defense can be, and where do you have to kind of elevate your game as a unit to be as good as you can be?
Yeah, I feel like there's no limit to it. You know, at the end of the day, I can't give you no generic answer. You know, we haven't played one snap of real football just yet. You know, so at the end of the day, we got high expectations for ourselves, and we seen the reports out there on us. So we know what we got to do to go out there and showcase that we not those reports. But at the end of the day, we are worried about what's going on inside house, and we're gonna continue to contribute in all aspects in our game.
Good, thank you.
How's the first NFL training camp going for you?
It's been good. You know, there's been some highs, some lows. I'm just trying to learn stack days. You know, when you have a good day, you just try to build off that and use it as, you know, confidence to keep moving forward each and every day.
I guess where do you think you've made the biggest strides just in understanding offense or anything from the time you got here when you were drafted to now?
I think the playbook's a lot different than what it was in college. There's just more verbiage. There's more to know. The game is just more expanded than it was in college. So, yeah, I spent the last 3-4 months just really diving into that playbook, asking as many questions as I can in the quarterback meetings without being annoying to those guys, asking Gino and Aiden for any sort of, you know, tips and reminders that I can use when I'm out there.
The last couple of days, you know, the more reps that you've been getting, the more comfortable you've been looking, at least from our vantage point. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a quarterback that when I get in a rhythm and I get, you know, some momentum going, I feel like I play my best. So it was a little bit difficult during OTAs when you get limited reps here and there. But you know, when you can get a whole drive and get rolling and you know who you're playing with and you get comfortable with those guys, yeah, the ball gets rolling a little bit.
Chances are you're going to see a lot of action on Thursday. Has it dawned on you that you're about 48 hours or whatever that is away from playing your first NFL game?
A little bit, yeah. I'm just excited for the opportunity to get out there and play against somebody new. And for my first NFL experience to be out there, I think it'll hit me when I'm out there, but right now it's just focused on how can I prepare and get ready for that opportunity.
What's it been like being in a quarterback room with Geno Smith, and kind of what have you learned from him thus far?
I've learned a lot from Gino. Obviously, his resume speaks for itself, and I think just his story alone inspires me. Somebody that was counted out multiple times and then has came back and has been, you know, a top 10 quarterback in my mind. And I mean, he's taught me everything from footwork, speeding up my feet, being accurate with the football. And when I'm watching behind and I'm watching him throw, you know, routes on air, even team, seeing the way that he moves his feet and throws the ball, it really just pushes me to become better and put the ball where it needs to be.
Talked about, you know, wrapping your head around this offense. What is it that sticks out to you about what makes it unique in terms of getting guys open and stuff?
I think Coach Kelly does a great job of getting guys open and knowing who's out there. And obviously he has a great resume too, so trusting in his offense. And it's just been so much fun for me to just learn new concepts and stuff where you've been running the same concepts for 5 years in college and now you get to, you know, the NFL playbook and there's, you know, thousands of different plays that you can run. And how does this one work against this defense, you know, all this kind of stuff. So it's been really, really fun to learn it.
All right, we got to ask, you're throwing the ball to Tommy Mellott.
Yeah.
From time to time, that was a rival of yours in college. How's that relationship kind of coming about, and was there any kind of a hurdle to get over it and throwing it over to Tommy Mellott right now?
There was no hurdle whatsoever. I have a ton of respect for him and the way that he plays the game. And in college, he was somebody that it was always fun to go against. And now to be on the same team as him, he's a very like-minded individual as me, very motivated, works extremely hard. So to be able to play with guys like that is awesome for me.
what do you make of your first NFL preseason action coming in Pete Carroll and Geno Smith's homecoming in Seattle?
I know it means a lot to those two individuals, so I'm gonna play my heart out and try to, just do my thing and compete. But I know a win would mean a lot to those guys for sure.
What is the mental process maybe like of going from being the superstar quarterback that all the attention's on you, all the game plans are for you, to like a third string guy fighting for your reps? Like, what is that mental process like?
The process really hasn't changed for me. I try to take as many mental reps. For me now, it's more taking mental reps when I'm not in simulating like I am in the game. I'm still making the checks behind the line of scrimmage that Geno would be making, and if I don't make the right check, I ask myself after the play, okay, why did he make that check? And trying to just visualize everything that's going on when I'm not taking reps. But it's been quite the adjustment from taking 50 reps in practice in college to a limited amount of reps now, but my mindset has stayed the same. It's making the most out of every opportunity. Every time I get a chance, I try to give the coaches every reason to not take me off the field.
Tom Brady reportedly endorsed you in the draft. We saw him at practice Friday, at the mock game on Saturday. I'm not sure how much you guys communicated at all, but has he given you any pointers? Like, what has that relationship been like?
We haven't communicated too much, but if it is true, that is very humbling and honoring to know that the best quarterback to ever play the game endorsed me. But at the same time, I have my own path. He had his own path. And I think every quarterback from the age of 5 to, the veteran quarterbacks in the league are all still chasing him. So, just if I do have a conversation with him and he talked to our team the other day, it's just writing down every single thing that he says because, it's extremely important for me.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, guys. Appreciate you coming in.
How you doing?
Good.
It's one thing to make a position change the way you're making it, but to do it at this level in the NFL, I can imagine that it's pretty daunting. But how is it going so far, and what have you learned over these last few months and few weeks?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's a daunting task, and I knew that going into it. And I'm just, so incredibly blessed to have this opportunity. I think I'm working with the absolute best in the world and working against them. And so every single day, just iron sharpens iron. And, it's just a daily process of improvement. I was talking, Jacoby is just such a great mentor for me right now. We have completely different skill sets, I believe. But he's just, so detailed in his craft, and so he pulls me aside every once in a while, gives me some ideas to work on, because he sees everything. He's a professional through and through every aspect of how he goes about his business, and so he pulled me aside, talked to me about something to improve on for the day, and it's been very helpful. But just the organization as a whole, from coaches to the defense to the other offensive players and everybody working with me, it's been an absolute honor to pursue that. But yes, it is absolutely a great process, and trying to go after it day after day.
Learning a playbook, but also learning the finer details of playing wide receiver, the technical aspects of playing wide receiver. Is it simultaneous, or is it something that you could separate at some point when you're out there getting your reps?
Yeah, no, I certainly think that. There's the X and O's piece, and that I think playing quarterback, like I love understanding offenses, and I love seeing how. It's a chess game between the offense and the defense, and I've always seen it as, since I've played quarterback for so long, it's kind of like I'm the captain that gets the ball out to everybody at the front line that's getting all the jobs done, all the one-on-one battles. And so, I essentially knew where people would be at what timing, and now, so I do believe that I still have that intuition feeling as a receiver, but yeah, there's so many different details, and there's so much, it's all like a dance, it's an art. Every single play. And so, again, getting to watch the guys, taking in every single rep I possibly can, watching them, if it's routes on air, if it's just, a route, during, team that I'm not in, and just watching all those guys, seeing how they do it, because it's almost like a dance, in and out of the defense. And there's a lot of things that, there's the finer details that really transcend a lot of people's vision. And so I'm trying to evaluate that and try to implement it to the best of my ability so far.
Is there a receiver, whether it's a current receiver or former, that you kind of like look at film and try to emulate, trying to model your game after?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So this entire offseason, you know, I grew up as a huge Julian Edelman fan, so I've watched a lot of his tape. Danny Amendola, you know, is another guy that I've kind of watched. You know, Hogan, the Patriots, you know, team there in the tens. You know, there's a lot of guys there that I've tried to watch a ton of. But even guys, you know, here, you know, the other slots that I've worked with, I think that it's been amazing to work with a guy like Alex Bachman, and, you know, to watch Jacoby. And there's so many different skill sets that all these guys have, but just how their body moves, you know, I think that Alex has been a great guy for me to watch for sure. So he's a, you know, I think he's a stud, and so I'm very excited for his season this year, and he's a guy that I've, you know, certainly tried to watch as well.
A lot of players have spoke highly about Geno Smith in terms of his leadership and being inspired by his story. Just for you, just what's it been like working with him and your personal experience with Geno?
Yeah, I mean, he's a professional through and through. Without a doubt, every aspect of how he can, you know, how he holds himself, how he, you know, how he talks within the team, his energy, his effort, his attention to detail, his leadership, you know, all those different aspects. It's been obvious, you know, day in and day out that he's a guy that, you know, wants this team to be better, and he's pushing this team to be better, and he's going to, you know, help this team win, and he's going to lead this team at every single opportunity he possibly has. And so, you know, it's been an honor to work with a guy like that and see how he goes about his business.
The mentorship from Jacoby. I know he made the switch from quarterback in college, so it's a little bit different. But how much has that maybe helped you guys relate, and has he kind of shared that journey with you along the way?
Yeah, I've talked to him for sure about that, you know, a handful of times. Certainly, you know, transition in college, you know, he's had X number of years now that he's been, you know, made that transition and whatnot, and he was obviously a stud in college as well. And so, you know, I 1000% believe, you know, that I have the ability to do, you know, go in and do this. And so I think that obviously working with him, listening to him, talking to him has been extremely helpful. You know, I think he's also professional through and through about how he goes about his business and how he, you know, treats people around him and how he pushes his team to be better and how he wants his team to win. You know, those are things that are very apparent every single day that I walk in that room with him. And so, you know, certainly, yeah, talking to him about those things have been great.
There's another component for you, special teams, and that's a way for you to get on the field pretty quickly. How precious are those reps in special teams? Are you getting comfortable on punt return and kick return and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. All those things, you know, there's just so many different position changes and so many different skill sets that I've been working on. And, you know, I think there's a lot of things that you can do out on the field, but even the training staff here has been amazing, because I think that, you know, things that being back there, you know, 5 yards removed from the offensive line and seeing it kind of like an offensive coordinator for so many years, you know, you have this vantage point, and you know, you're not really turning on, you know, having a ball thrown at you, or, you know, looking up in the sky as guys are coming at you. And so there's so many different, you know, opportunities that the training staff has helped me with. You know, they have so many different, you know, eye training, reactionary training, peripheral vision training, all these different things that, you know, you don't have to be out on the field doing all these things and pushing your body to the max. But, you know, obviously when I'm out there at practice, those reps are very, very valuable. And, you know, I go out there and I give the greatest effort I possibly can and let that be a non-negotiable. Make sure my attitude is where it needs to be, and, you know, just day after day, just make improvement. And I believe that I've seen, you know, leaps and bounds of who I was, you know, just a month and a half ago, 2 months ago when I was here for rookie minicamp to where I am today. So, you know, it's very encouraging to see that, but I've got plenty of room to grow still in all those different areas. So I'm just taking it day by day and chasing it.
You got your first game coming up on Thursday. Are there family members are going to be up in Seattle, and how excited are you about getting on the field for the first time as an NFL player?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It'll be a unbelievable moment for me. And you know, I just want to represent the Raiders organization the best I possibly can. I will have, you know, my family coming from Montana, and it'll, you know, it's not too long of a drive for them, so they'll be over there in Seattle. And so it'll be, you know, I absolutely want to represent this organization to the best of my ability and put everything out there on the field, and, you know, let the cards lay where they might, but, you know, do whatever I can to help this team win, and whatever's asked of me, you know, I'm going to go and give the greatest effort I possibly can for it.
Good. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.